Welcome to this meeting of the Board of Education. This meeting is being televised live on AACPS TV and streamed on AACPS YouTube channel. General information and protocols for the meeting are posted on the sign by the doorway as you enter the room. So please make sure you read those if you have not already. Before we pause for the invocation, I would ask for a moment of silence for the families and the children who recently suffered such horrors in Uvalde, Texas, please. O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all educational policies, being ever mindful of your guidance. Stir us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Moving now to item 2.03, approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve last meeting's minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have consensus? Thank you. Item 2.04, establish agenda order.
Motion to approve agenda is printed.
Second.
Do I have consensus? Thank you. Item 2.05, recognitions. Do we have it? Thank you. Item 2.06, Educator of the Month. Ms. Omasori.
Today, the board recognizes a staff member whose systemic knowledge of the interworkings of the school system are unmatched. She has been a vital asset to Anne Arundel County Public Schools, is well known and well respected throughout our county. Everyone knows that when called upon, she will give you the most honest and knowledgeable answer to any question or concern that is brought her way. At the end of this month, after 30 plus years of devoted service to AACPS, she is retiring. Our June 2022 Educator of the Month from the Office of Student Data is Mrs. Diane Copeland. We're not done.
Yeah.
Mrs. Copeland helped create and customize the graduation planner in Power School. This powerful tool is used by all secondary administrators, counselors, and families to help determine courses that must be taken to satisfy graduation requirements. To ensure that all students who are scheduled to graduate meet the requirements for graduation, Diane completes an audit for every senior in our county 3 times each year, including me. That's over 5,000 students. This process alone takes weeks to perform for each school, and while this is not required within her position, it is a gift to our high schools in our district that Mrs. Copeland devotes her time and energy towards. Diane is the model of consistency and professionalism for AACPS. For the last 20 years, she has been the face of student data, along with her husband, Ed. She has working knowledge and historical perspective that is unmatched. Some of you remember SASI, don't you? Sassy. Her work is essential to the success of AACPS, and she does everything in her power to ensure that things run smoothly for the schools, staff, and students. Colleagues described her performance as remarkable to see the care, concern, and devotion that she has given to her job in such a selfless manner. Mrs. Copeland provides extensive training to administrators, counselors, teachers, and staff members on Power School and Power Teacher Pro Grade. This important training keeps our schools in line with laws, policies, regulations, and procedures that dramatically impact our school system. Ms. Copeland gives accurate information right away and wonderful support whenever it's needed. Diane Copeland, much of your hard work has been done behind the scenes, but the impact that you have made to Anne Arundel County Public Schools is at the forefront of our schools each and every day. Your commitment, effectiveness, and support to everyone in our county is remarkable. Congratulations on earning the June 2022 Educator of the Month. This board and your fellow colleagues wish you much relaxation and enjoyment in your retirement. Please meet me up front to accept your award.
Oh, thank you. The other way. So this is all the nice things to read about you. Here is your certificate, and here is your shiny plaque. So, how are you gotten here today?
I was told we were coming for someone else.
It's all for you.
Thank you very much.
No problem. And thank you. Congrats.
Thank you and congratulations. And just a reminder, after these next few presentations, we will take a break to go out and take some photographs. So, item 2.07, Employee of the Month. Over the last 6 years, Annapolis Elementary School's pre-kindergarten program has thrived due in part to the dedication of one of their teaching assistants, Ms. Karen Strandquist. Ms. Strandquist has exceptional knowledge in the area of early child development. She responds to children with encouragement and in the most developmentally appropriate ways. She brings light to the work environment. Her kindness, dependability, and knowledge has helped fellow staff members and students, especially during hybrid learning last year. Karen's previous background, teaching early childhood students, allows her to understand how the world is seen through young children's eyes. She is conscientious of students' needs and the needs of their families, always willing to support with discretion regarding their privacy. She displays a high degree of willingness to assist not only pre-K students, but many other children and adults at Annapolis Elementary. Karen is credited as having contributed to the positive learning environment of the school. She has personally funded items for the school treasure box, made homemade Play-Doh, and graciously stepped up to deliver supplies to students during hybrid learning. Karen Strandquist, you are an outstanding professional, described by your colleagues as, quote, a joy to work with and learn from. The Board of Education honors you today as the Employee of the Month for June 2022. Congratulations, and please join me up front to accept your certificate and plaque.
So what'd they tell you?
So I was here to support my crafty colleague. I know she's going to speak next.
Well, let's
Thank you.
step back here and take a quick picture. I've got for you your plaque,
Wow.
and we've kept this right up for you as well, so you have it. And oops, paper behind you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You want to say anything before you?
No, thank you. I get to do what I love. Thank you.
Well, thank you for everything.
Thanks.
Okay. Item 2.08, Volunteer of the Year. Ms. Frank?
Thank you. Volunteers are often referred to as the backbone of our school communities. This is perhaps the best description for the volunteers here in Anne Arundel County. They provide vital support and they perform diverse and critical functions which help our students fulfill their maximum potential so they can thrive not only in the classroom, but in life. Volunteers throughout AACPS are nominated each month, and one outstanding volunteer is selected to be recognized. The time of year has come for an even higher honor. Today, we acknowledge the exceptional and truly Herculean contribution of one volunteer as our AACPS Volunteer of the Year. Dedicated, truly one of a kind, the epitome of extraordinary. These are just some of the words that shine through from the more than 12 pages of glowing endorsements submitted to describe the recipient of today's recognition. Amy Wangdahl. The Board of Education is thrilled to honor you as our 2021-2022 Volunteer of the Year. For 11 years, the Bodkin Elementary and the entire Chesapeake cluster have been the beneficiaries of Ms. Wangdahl's phenomenal and multifaceted work. From serving as the PTA treasurer to creating Bodkin Elementary's annual Santa Saturday, Amy's contributions are varied and numerous. In addition to spearheading recruitment sponsorships to fund theatrical productions at Chesapeake High School, Amy serves as the manager for Buddy the Bulldog, ensuring that the beloved Bodkin mascot makes it to his appearances on time. This proves that at every school level, no task is too big or too small for Ms. Wangdahl to take on and see through to the end. The unparalleled scope and breadth of Amy Wangdahl's contribution is what sets her apart. Ms. Wangdahl has performed hundreds of hours of volunteer service at all school levels, and her impact on the students and families of the Chesapeake cluster is vast. Bodkin Elementary parent and PTA member Jenny Bull affectionately shared, "I have been amazed at the many hats Amy wears, and she wears them so well. Any one of those hats would be too much for most people, yet she takes on more and more because she doesn't want the kids to miss out on a single thing. She is deserving of the highest honor a volunteer can receive." According to Chesapeake Bay Middle School Assistant Principal Zachary Jones, Ms. Wangdahl and her family can be counted on in every way imaginable. She's dependable in every sense of the word. Ms. Wangdahl spends countless hours at the school, and through her outstanding performance, she has inspired many families at Chesapeake Bay Middle, Chesapeake High School, and Bodkin Elementary to get more involved. She is a vital asset to our entire Chesapeake cluster family. Ms. Wangdahl was recognized as Volunteer of the Month in October, and it is obvious that her commitment to the Chesapeake cluster goes above and beyond. She provides crucial and profound support, enhancing family engagement in the school community and benefiting our students in life-changing and long-lasting ways. Amy, could you please come forward? It is with great appreciation that I would like to present the Volunteer of the Year award to you.
I'm gonna drop it. See, she's so helpful. It's really on there. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So here is your award. We'll switch it. So did they get you here
There's
again?
several people who are in trouble.
I was like, did they surprise you a second time?
This was an elaborate ruse that included fake emails from Board of Ed employees. I won't drop names. But I wouldn't do it without my sidekick, Eva. She's amazing. And then if we didn't have administrators like Mr. Jones and Miss Nate Jackson, who I saw hiding here as well, Miss Myers, all the other principals, Mr. Dunn, if it weren't for the administration and the front office staff, everybody in the Chesapeake cluster is amazing. That's why we do what we do, is for them.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So we will take a brief break while we go out and take photographs. Welcome back, everyone. So we will now move to public comments. I'm sorry, do we have the list of? Thank you very much. Speakers will be allotted 2 minutes each and may not allocate their time to others. The yellow light below me will shine when you have 30 seconds remaining. The red light below me will shine, and you will hear a tone when your time has expired. The board asks that comments remain civil and appropriate for the various audiences that may be watching or viewing this meeting. Student-specific and personnel matters are confidential and cannot be discussed in this forum. Neither can open negotiations. Please speak only on the topic which you signed up to speak. It is not the board's general practice to engage in question and answer session with speakers. For the record, please give your name before speaking. Handouts should be given to the board assistant. Okay, I am going to go ahead and call up 3 people who have signed up. Ms. Glenda Washington, Mr. Ashish Vidalia, and Spear Lancaster. Not here. Okay. So choose either if you'd like to be at the podium or seated. Ms. Washington.
Thank you. Greetings, Board President Dr. Tobin, Anne Arundel County Public School Board members, Superintendent Dr. Arlotto, and esteemed guests. My name is Glenda Washington. I am the Director of Communications for Chesapeake Lighthouse Foundation, the largest charter school operator in Maryland. I am here today for 2 reasons. Firstly, thank you for allowing Chesapeake Lighthouse Foundation the opportunity to resubmit our application. We really appreciated that. Secondly, we are petitioning the board to vote in favor of the application for the new Chesapeake Lighthouse, for the new Chesapeake Science Point Elementary Public Charter School. If this application is granted, the partnership between Anne Arundel County Public Schools and Chesapeake Lighthouse Foundation will be strengthened, as together we provide Anne Arundel County students and families another educational choice among the very great educational opportunities they already have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Vidalia.
Always have to bring it down a little. Short people problems. Hi, board. My name is Ashish Vidalia. I'm the STEM coordinator at Chesapeake Lighthouse Foundation. And again, on par here to speak about Chesapeake Science Point petition. So just want to talk about hard work, right? So hard work is hard. I mean, it's why it's the first word of the phrase, right? But why do people do hard work? It takes a toll on your mental health, takes a toll on your family life, and your work-life balance, if you have one of those. Don't know what that is. But why do people do hard work? Well, for some, it's because they want a good paycheck. For some, it's because they want to have some level of fulfillment in life. But I think the best reason to do hard work is because it's for a higher purpose. And there's no better higher purpose than the future generations, right? So I'd like to take a second to thank everybody that put together an amazing petition round 2. Took a lot of hard work in such a short turnaround, but I think we did a great job of putting together something that everybody is proud of, right? And I also like to thank the superintendent's team for taking the hard work to review the giant petition, and the board members for taking a review of the review and of the actual petition. So in light of everything else, I'm hoping that if everything is favorable, we can celebrate 2 CSP events today, a graduation and the new school. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes public comment for today. I will move now to item 4.01, President's Report. I have only one thing I'd like to mention, which is I had yet another opportunity to attend a spectacular unified dance event on May 20th, and my colleagues, Mr. Silkworth and Ms. Schalheim, were also in attendance. I'd just like to give a shout out one more time to Ms. Walsh and her incredible team who put together an extraordinary, delightful, wonderful event, to Old Mill for hosting. But also I would just say how wonderful it was to be back in person, see how much the students loved being together. And I would also be remiss if I didn't give a special shout out to the Annapolis High Unified Dance Team that just did a terrific job along with the others. So thank you to everyone, and I look forward to joining you again next year. Okay, item 4.02, school hours report. Ms. Ellis.
Thank you, Dr. Tobin. An update for more information coming for the public. The district specific videos that have been created, our production team under Mr. Mosier's leadership have been working very hard to get those prepared for the public, and they should be released on our website no later than Friday. Again, these videos will be specific to your district. So you can look at for the cluster that your family attends and get information there. There will also be a live Q&A link for the public to be able to submit questions, and we'll receive a response from AACPS staff. And on June 21st, there will be it's a daycare event at Old Mill High School. I believe the time is 7 to 8:30 p.m. And this is an opportunity for families in need of daycare outside of school hours to come and meet area daycare providers. And so hopefully this will provide some assistance for families with that need. In addition, Dr. Tobin, Mr. Silkworth, and I had the opportunity to meet yesterday with the county executive, as well as representation from county agencies to work through some of the challenges that we're still working on, and the work continues. So please check out. There will be a press release. You will know when that those updates are on our website, and so please access that as soon as that comes out in the next couple of days. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Ellis. And thank you again to Mr. Mosier and the staff who have been working exceedingly hard on getting those videos together. I think they will provide excellent information. Item 4.03, Superintendent Search Committee Report. Ms. Frank.
Thank you, Dr. Tobin. On April 30th, the superintendent application process was closed. HYA, our consultant, reported that there were 47 applications, and using the leadership profile report gathered from stakeholders and the community survey, HYA made several candidate recommendations. After reviewing all of the resumes and having an opportunity to discuss preliminary interviews and ask about each candidate, the board identified the top 7 candidates for interviews. During the week of May 16th, the board interviewed 7 candidates. This was an incredibly impressive group of professionals, and we are thankful to every candidate who took the time to meet with us, despite the very busy end-of-year activities school system administrators must complete. During the week of May 25th, the board interviewed the final 3 candidates, and we are extremely pleased to announce that we have selected a final candidate and are actively working to secure our next superintendent. We will make this announcement within the next 2 weeks. I am so very pleased that the entire board came together on a decision that will impact our students, staff, and the entire county for years to come, and I want to thank all of the tireless work of the search committee and the board for completing this enormous undertaking. I started this endeavor by reaching out to previous board members who completed the last search, and I am grateful for their guidance and the time they took to outline the process. One thing they all stated was that this was the most important decision that we as a board would make during our term. In that light, I want to assure the public that finding consensus on this decision was extremely important as we represent our districts and the student body. We were committed to getting this right, and we are very confident moving forward. On behalf of the committee, and likely also the whole board, I want to give a special thank you to Diane Howell, our executive assistant, for the tremendous effort that she has given to facilitate the search. All of the many logistical details were handled on very tight timelines, and sometimes decisions had to be made very quickly. Ms. Howell is the unsung hero to this board, and we could not have done this without her. The Board of Education of Anne Arundel County will be holding a special session to vote for our superintendent, and we will be delighted to introduce the new superintendent to our community.
Thank you very much, Ms. Frank, and thank you for your work and for the committee's work on this. Item 4.04, Policy Committee Report. Ms. Dent is not with us, and are you able to deliver the report? Thank you, Ms. Ellis.
Thank you again, Dr. Tobin. So the policy committee met yesterday at 3 o'clock, and I'm sorry, I'm just pulling up the documentation from that meeting so I get the names of the policies right. But the policy committee reviewed 2 policies. Policy AE was brought back to the committee after we had previous discussion and some revisions. So it was brought back to the committee yesterday, and the committee did vote to move that policy forward to the board. So we should be seeing that at our next meeting, I believe. And then policy BAF, ethics and conflict of interest, was also taken up by the policy committee yesterday in order to align this policy with some new language in state law. And then the regulation for policy JT, registered student sex offenders entry onto school property. This is a policy that the board is currently engaged in passing. And so this is just a regulation that will go along with that. So the policy committee had an opportunity to review that. And that concludes yesterday's meeting. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Ellis. Item 4.05, the report from CCAG.
Good afternoon, board members and Dr. Arlato. Thank you for the opportunity to present our annual report to the Board of Ed today. My name is Susan White, and I serve as the chair of the Anne Arundel County CCAC Committee. The acronym CCAC stands for Special Education Citizens Advisory Committee. Under IDEA and COMAR, local school systems are required to establish an advisory committee to provide input about special education from stakeholders. The mission of each CCAC is to advise, provide input, and collaborate with the Department of Special Education, families, educators, and community representatives regarding policies and procedures, issues, and concerns related to providing FAPE to students with disabilities and/or special needs. Our committee would like to recognize the leadership of the Department of Special Education for their efforts over the past 2 years navigating the impact of the pandemic. We would also like to extend our gratitude and appreciation to school psychologists, special educators, related service providers, and paraprofessional staff who have endured ongoing challenging circumstances and staffing shortages. Lastly, we want to acknowledge all of the families of the Anne Arundel community who have engaged in our meetings and presentations this year. The CCAC committee continues to use the virtual platform to conduct general meetings and provide presentation. The change in platform provides access to the community at large and has increased our average monthly participation. The CCAC general meetings continue to be an opportunity to provide direct access to a live open forum with the co-directors of special education to make inquiries, seek clarification, and ask questions. We plan to continue a virtual option for general meetings going forward and plan for in-person events as well. We were not able to host our annual Special Education Resource Fair again this year. However, we are providing a resource flyer to our committee participants to highlight local resources. We were able to host several virtual presentations with guest speakers. These presentations covered a wide variety of topics, including assistive technology, reading and math instruction, mental health, as well as our annual conversation with the co-directors. We were also able to host 2 in-person events in April and May. The first was a panel discussion with parents, students, and special educators who shared information about their collective experiences with the IEP process and services in our school system. Our event in May was a roundtable event with 9 different departments within special education represented. Participants were able to move from table to ask questions and seek information about Partners for Success, transportation, compliance, co-teaching, related services, etc. We greatly appreciate all of the leadership staff who volunteer their time each year in the evenings to support this ongoing partnership with our committee each year. We continue to maintain our website and respond to inquiries via our web-based contact form and email address. We continue to grow our membership of parents, guardians, community members, and staff, communicating with them through email and our Facebook page. A few weeks ago, I attended the joint meeting of the local district CCACs and the state level CSAC meeting on May 18th that included a presentation by Assistant State Superintendent Marcella Frankowski. It was a great opportunity to learn how other district committees are supporting the community and the school systems they serve. We would like to share that since March 2020, everyone in the Department of Special Education has experienced the most challenging period of their careers. Collectively, they have experienced heightened levels of stress and anxiety, resulting in grief and burnout. The pandemic has exacerbated challenges they have been facing for a number of years: increased caseload sizes, workload, and staffing shortages, to name a few. They have endured long hours outside of their contracted workday to meet the many demands of their positions to support student well-being and achievement. We implore members of the Board of Ed and the community at large to continue to advocate for the resources and staffing that are required to help the students of Anne Arundel County thrive and achieve. Our committee wants to congratulate all of the graduates this year and celebrate with our families on this tremendous milestone. Our families have been steadfast supporters and advocates for their children, some of who have been receiving special education and/or related services since they were toddlers or even earlier. Lastly, we could not let this opportunity go by without taking the time to congratulate Bobby Pedrick on her upcoming retirement. She has been a fierce advocate and faithful supporter to the educators, children, and families she has served. She has been a leader in various capacities throughout her career, and most notably as the director and co-director of special education for Anne Arundel County. She retires from her position, leaving a legacy of care and compassion for all who choose this work. Thank you, Ms. Pedrick, for your service to our community. Thank you, board members, for your time and consideration of this information presented today. We welcome all of you and the community to participate in our upcoming meeting on June 9th at 6:30 p.m. You can contact us via our email on our website to get the Zoom meeting link. Updates and information about meetings and events are always available on our website and our Facebook page. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ms. White, and thank you for your work on behalf of CCAC.
Thank you.
Okay, moving to section 5, consent items.
Motion to bundle.
Second.
Do I have consensus? Okay, Dr. Arlotto.
Thank you, Madam President. Members of the board, I recommend that the Board of Education authorize the award of contracts as listed on today's agenda, numbers 5.01 through 5.17.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Okay,
Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Frank,
Aye.
Ms. Ellis,
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell,
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. Omasore,
Aye.
Dr. Tobin.
aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you very much. Item 6.01, administrative personnel appointments. Dr. Arlotto.
Thank you, Madam President. I recommend Board of Education recommend that the personnel listed on the attached sheets be promoted and or appointed.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Seeing no lights. Ms. Howell.
Sorry. Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Frank,
Aye.
Ms. Ellis,
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell, Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. Omasore,
Aye.
Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Item 6.02, personnel. Dr. Arlotto.
Thank you, Madam President. I recommend the board approve the actions as stipulated on the attached sheets.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Seeing no lights. Ms. Howell.
Mr. Silkworth,
Aye.
Ms. Frank,
Aye.
Ms. Ellis,
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell,
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim,
Aye.
Ms. Omasore,
Aye.
Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Dr. Tobin, if I
Yes.
may, I unfortunately have to excuse myself as I have to go attend my best friend's graduation. So sorry to leave early, but I must leave before we get to policy revisions.
Okay. Enjoy the graduation, Ms. Omasore. Drive safely.
I'm all alone over here.
Item 6.03, new course approvals. Dr. Arlotto.
Thank you, Madam President. Members of the board, I recommend approval of these courses beginning in the 2023-2024 school year as noted.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like-
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, President Tobin, Vice President Silkworth, Dr. Arlotto, and board members. For the record, my name is Nicole Howard, and I serve as your Director of Curriculum and Assessment. For your consideration today are 13 different and exciting new course offerings in the areas of health, PE, dance, music, and CTE. Thank you.
Thank you. This is amazing. Ms. Schallheim.
You know I love this so much, and delighted always to see new and fabulous courses. I do have a couple of questions. So, and hopefully, just in the suggestion that in future maybe we add this to the sheets that you all have evolved over time, because it's just so helpful for me as a board member. So firstly, where will each of these new courses be available next year, starting, if we could just run down all of them for me? What schools?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Ryan Sagan, Coordinator of Career and Technical Education. Ms. Shaham, you asked, could you read the question, please?
Yes, which schools will each of these new courses be available at beginning in the fall? So if you can just run down all of them for me so I can take a note of it.
Sure. So that decision has not been reached for some of them, but I'll go over the ones we have determined concretely.
Okay.
The two case courses you have in front of you are for the new case program at the Center of Applied Technology North. That is the, oh boy, sorry, I have 9 courses, so it's hard for me to.
Yes.
Cheat sheet would have been a good idea. The natural resources and environmental course, and then the environmental science issues are both going to be at Center of Applied Technology North in
Okay.
the 23-24 school year.
And that's 23-24.
Correct.
Okay. And what about Health B?
I'm sorry, Health B?
Yes.
So Health B will be available in the 2023 school year at all of our high schools. It is a new graduation requirement, so it will need to be available in every single one of our high schools.
All schools. Okay. And then, so again, this is the same question, so bear with me, folks. What about the middle school unified courses?
So middle school unified PE and middle school unified dance will be available in 2023. We would like to offer them at all of our middle schools. It will depend on enrollment as to where they will be offered. Very similar to how they are happening right now at our high schools.
All middle schools. Okay. Just gonna go down the list. So that's the middle school dance. What about the music ones?
We plan to offer it at all of the high schools in the 23-24 school year. We do anticipate that we're going to have at least a few high schools that have sufficient interest in it and have enough students that have met the prerequisites that it will run in at least a few of our high schools, Arundel High School probably being the first and foremost one, only because that is where the proposal for this course came out of.
And that's in the fall or the 23 school year?
The 23 school year, yes.
So definitely Arundel and hopefully more of them.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Ideally, we'd like it to run in all of them.
I really hope so. And then let's see here, the human growth and development through adolescent course.
So that course is the first course in our new proposed Teacher Academy program. We anticipate that starting at Glen Burnie High School in the 23-24 school year.
Okay, that's Glen Burnie. All right, and then the general aviation one, that's a CAT program, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
CAT North?
CAT North.
Okay.
Also 23-24.
Aviation. CAT North 23. All right, and then you already went through the case ones. And the cybersecurity?
Cybersecurity and data science are to be determined. We're working with the signature office to determine the best location for those programs to be infused in their signature programs.
Okay. Little suggestion, hopefully, there's some schools that already have this, as a major component of their school offering. I ask that we go outside of that if possible, because there's other,
Absolutely.
kids who would like to avail themselves of those great opportunities. Okay, I think is that all of them? Security B, data science A, okay. My second question, since I had two, the first one was where are they going to be available? The second one is, why is the aviation course, I think I know the answer to this, but just help me understand, 3 credits as a year-long course while there was another year-long course in this mix that was 1 credit? Is that because it involves lots of different components, science, math, and the like?
Well, that'd be a great guess. Actually, at both CAT North and CAT South, because the students spend a significant more time in their course period, is more based off of the amount of time in a class.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm delighted. Obviously, I'm supportive. I'm going to vote yes. I think that's a foregone conclusion. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ellis.
Thank you. I just have to give a shout out for some of these.
Oh, you went off. Your mic went off.
It was on and off. Okay. First of all, hi, Ms. Walsh. you know how excited I am to expand the unified dance, but also unified PE to our middle schools. It's been wonderful in our high schools. Hello. I believe we might have had dinner together at the teacher.
Indeed, we did.
So I have a student, a high school student who is very interested in music production. So I sincerely hope Annapolis High School is one of those schools that will be offered at. But in particular, so our magnet students are required to carry a full schedule, even if there aren't course offerings to contribute to their specialties. So courses like this are truly a specialty that students would not traditionally have had an opportunity to access. So I am all in on that one. Thank you so much for bringing it to us. And the cybersecurity, the marketability of that career justifies putting it in every one of our high schools if possible. I got to believe there would be an interest there.
Absolutely.
Thank you for bringing that too. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Frank.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking at the Health B course, and I wanted to get some more information on what exactly is going to be covered under that course.
So currently we offer Health A as a graduation requirement that is a 0.5 elective. And in May of 2021, the Maryland State Department of Education increased that requirement to a 1.0. So we'll be expanding upon some of those topics. We're going to be including topics such as grief and loss, organ donation, disordered eating, sexually explicit media, drug use during pregnancy, addiction, including gambling, drug use in the relationship with health risks such as suicide and violence, as well as environmental literacy in health education. And what kind of topics do you cover under environmental literacy? So we're currently exploring some of those topics now. Some of the topics include safe disposal of jewels and medicine. And I also have Maureen Grizio here with me, who's my health education teacher specialist, and she has been working with our specialists at Arlington Echo to help us with this topic. So if you have anything to expand upon in that area.
We're working together with Arlington Echo, environmental justice, disposal of jewels and medicines. And then one other topic is your footprint with food choices and what to make as a person in the company.
And what would the environmental justice cover?
Environmental justice is covering, we're starting on it right now. The impact of pollution, who's in the areas, what kind of pollution's around here, and how does it impact. The focus of the whole unit is on decision making. So what are our choices?
Now, is environmental justice required by state law?
Yes, it is standard.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I would just add my thanks. I'm especially delighted to see the unified dance and PE at the middle school level. I think it's particularly valuable there in many ways for a whole host of reasons. But these are all extraordinary courses. I can't imagine having had these opportunities back when I was in high school. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you for the work. And I can't wait to see what our amazing young people do with all of this. I'm sure we're going to have, many esteemed music producers coming out of this county someday. And along with all the other wonderful work, the casework and so on. So thank you to everyone. I see no more lights, so Ms. Howell.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Ms. Frank?
Aye.
Ms. Ellis?
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell?
Aye.
Ms. Schalheim?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Sorry, 5-0.
Yeah. 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Can we discuss math classes? All right. Thank you so much. Item 6.04, policy revisions.
Second reading, registered student sex offenders, entry onto school property, code JT. Hello, Ms. Ortiz.
Good afternoon. For the record, Jeanette Ortiz, Legislative and Policy Counsel. Before you on second reading is policy JT, registered student sex offenders, entry onto school property. Just as a reminder, this policy has been drafted in accordance with new state law requirements. It was on a 30-day public comment period. We did not receive any public comments. As Ms. Ellis stated in the policy committee report, the policy committee reviewed the accompanying regulation, which is also aligned with state law and MSDE model policy requirements for the implementation piece of the policy. I can answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I see no lights. Okay, we do not appear to have any questions.
All right, the policy will be before the board on third reading at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. Item 6.05, Educational Facilities Chesapeake Science Point Public Charter School Elementary Application. Dr. Alato.
Thank you very much, Madam President, members of the board. I recommend approval of the application submitted by the Chesapeake Science Point Elementary Public Charter Schools Board.
So moved.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, President Tobin, Vice President Silkworth, members of the board, and Dr. Alato. For the record, my name is Pat Crane, Director of Alternative Programs. I'd like to provide the opportunity for my colleagues to introduce themselves.
Sally Egan, Assistant Superintendent, Student Support Services.
Megan Lewis, Senior Manager, Alternative Programs.
Thank you. On February 2nd, 2022, I came before this board and provided several areas of concern with the charter school application to open the Chesapeake Science Point Public Charter Elementary School. These concerns resulted in the application not being approved. Shortly thereafter, we met with the staff of Chesapeake Lighthouse Foundation and their board and shared in greater detail these concerns. And on February 24th, 2022, a new application was submitted for review. The newly submitted application was reviewed and scored within the 120-day time frame. Each of the concerns that were outlined in the first application were addressed in the new application. And for that reason, we come before you today to bring forth Dr. Alato's recommendation to approve this charter application. Updated scores and review feedback have been submitted for your review. Consistent with the charter school law in the state of Maryland, the local Board of Education is the charter school authorizing body and as such has the final decision on an approval or denial of a charter school application. If approved today, the Chesapeake Science Point Public Charter Elementary School would open in the fall of 2023 with 384 students in grades kindergarten through 5. The school would grow to 576 students in grades K to 5 by year 5. The school's focus, as it was in the first application, is to provide a rigorous elementary school curriculum with a concentration on coding, robotics, and virtual reality. Further, if approved, the charter agreement will come back before this board for approval within 30 days. Additionally, there are a few facility-related documents that you all also have to approve over the next year or so. Those include ed spec, schematic design, and design development documents. A little further down the road, though, just wanted to bring those to your attention so you knew what to expect moving forward. At this time, we're available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crane. Ms. Ellis?
I just want to say how happy I am to see us at this point. I know that the last time the original application that was brought was a big concern and a big disappointment for a lot of people, the outcome of that one. And I know I said at that time, I've seen people working around the clock on proposals and pulling it together and winning, and it can be done. And I'm so pleased to hear this recommendation today, and kudos to all of your hard work. Well done.
Thank you. Ms. Frank?
Thank you. I wanted to just comment that since our original meeting where that took place, I was incredibly lucky to be able to tour for the first time the Chesapeake Lighthouse. And they were kind enough to print this out to show me some of the unique offerings that they have and some of the really amazing things that they do at this school. So I had to bring it just to show everybody today. So I wanted to put that up there so everyone could see it. And just express my gratitude that the application was refiled. I mean, from the 2nd to the 24th is an unbelievable turnaround time. So it really speaks to the dedication of this group. And I am just so thankful to be in the position that I'm in today to support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Corkadell.
Thank you, President Tobin. I just want to say, this group has been nationally recognized for their success. As I had mentioned, one of our other high schools being nationally recognized. And so I want to applaud you for your tenacity, and maybe a little guy I'll put in there. You can go, come sa. But ultimately, I believe I spoke about the ability for us to actually get through in an expedited manner. And it is as insurmountable as it may have seemed. We as a collective whole have persevered. And so I want to thank all of you for seeing it through, and thank the staff for putting fresh eyes and recognizing the hard work and efforts are not reflective of the outcomes to the students. Our students are excelling and are recognizing all those successes. So being able to culminate that, once again, a sincere appreciation to the superintendent and to his staff. And I look forward to many future years of prosperity and partnership with you. As unfortunate as our last meeting together may have been. So thanks to all of you. And it's a Herculean effort, including the community. I see one of our community members sitting there, who also served civically for a few years for us. Thank you very much for your service, sir. But major kudos.
Thank you. Mr. Silkworth.
Thank you, President Tobin. I would just like to give a shout out to everyone, all the stakeholders that have worked so hard to make this come to fruition, as well as Dr. Alata and our staff. And it just proves a point for me. Collaboration pays off for our kids. So thank you.
Okay. Ms. Ellis, I see a light. Is that your old light? Okay. I see no other lights. So I would just like to add my thanks for your persistence. My thanks to the staff for what I know has been a lot of hard work to do this. And just to add that we take very seriously our job as the local authorizer for charters. It is critical that we maintain the rigorous standards that we do. All the students of ACPS are our students, charter or otherwise. And so we will continue to maintain those standards. And thanks to Mr. Crane and his staff for ensuring that we do. I also want to say that I'm very pleased that the Lighthouse Foundation did collaborate with our staff and has come to, I think, a very good outcome. And I would say to any others out there who are contemplating someday submitting a charter application, I urge you to work closely with our staff. We want success for all of our students, and our staff are expert and a huge resource. So work with them, take their advice, and 9 times out of 10, the outcome will be a good one for everyone. So thank you. Okay, Ms. Howell.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Ms. Frank?
Aye.
Ms. Ellis?
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell?
Aye.
Ms. Scholheim?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
very much. Item 6.06, 2022 Educational Facilities Master Plan. Dr. Arlotto.
Thank you, Madam President. Members of the board, I recommend approval of the 2022 Educational Facilities Master Plan.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Okay. Any comments? Ms. Ellis?
Just real quickly, okay, so I'm sorry, I was looking at this document and I realized the projected school enrollment state capacity utilization. Sorry, the print is so small. This is for what's projected is projected for 10 years out. Is that on the document? I'm looking at the page. Well, I'm looking at Piney Orchard in particular. Where's the page number?
So for the record, Alex Shaknovich,
37.
the documents reflect 21 actuals, 22 projected, and 2031 projected.
Okay. So when I saw 182%, that was for 2031.
Yes, ma'am. And again, that because the West County Elementary School has not been, so
Right.
When you see the book that the West County Elementary School is contemplated, but we've not yet gone through the geographical assignment and redistricting process to formulate the school.
Mhm.
So once that recommendation is brought to the board and the board votes on a formal attendance structure for the new West County Elementary School, all of the students that are pulled, for example, from Piney Orchard, will then be moved into that new school, and all the
Right.
figures, including those in the out years, will all be recalibrated.
Right. Okay. That's helpful. So the 23 projection. Okay, now I see it. Thank you. I'm sorry, I looked at it wrong. 20, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I see no more lights. I have one very quick question, and it's just a bit of curiosity on my part because there's nothing immediate about it, and I'm trying to get to the actual page here because this is a very big document. I am looking in the Annapolis feeder at Eastport Elementary. And I was a little surprised that the projections far out, right? I believe it's the 10-year projections are ultimately for overcapacity, if I read it correctly. And I mean, Eastport is not a huge school. I understand that. I didn't necessarily anticipate that in that community. I didn't know if anybody had anything to offer on that or.
Well, again, I'll check with the Chief Operating Officer. So part of it is just projections regarding birth rates and rising enrollments. They do come through the elementary school sector first. You're right. There's not a lot of growth and development or some redevelopment. There's certainly a multifamily dwelling project potentially coming to fruition, albeit it's still in the appeals process. So, but Eastport, to your point, is not really a rapidly growing area from a construction perspective.
Right.
So it's much more likely to be just a demography issue with birth rates and population escalation.
Okay, great. As I said, just a curiosity on my part. All right, I don't see any other lights or any other questions. So,
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Ms. Frank?
Aye.
Ms. Ellis?
Aye.
Ms. Corkadow?
Aye.
Ms. Schallheim?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 6.07, adoption of revised and updated Board of Education handbook. I will turn to Ms. Frank as chair of the handbook committee for her introduction and recommendation.
Thank you. The handbook committee met several times over the last summer to review and finalize amendments to the handbook. To briefly review, there had been several iterations of this committee over the last few years that had changed due to the makeup of the board, and the project was again put on hold because of COVID and reinitiated at the beginning of last summer. While board norms are constantly evolving and the handbook could be continually updated, the committee felt it best to submit the current version to the board for a vote. It is my recommendation that this committee meet annually to review any applicable updates in state law and to evaluate current practices. As a quick explanation as to the purpose of the handbook, it is designed to give an overview of state law as it pertains to the board as an entity, outlines the duties of board members, and provides current practices in use by the board to conduct businesses. These practices have undergone many changes in the past 2 years and will continue to improve as the board evaluates itself. It is a helpful resource for new board members, as well as an important document for the public to understand the delineation in law, policy, and practices of the board. As this board is now fully elected, a thorough understanding as to the expectations and limitations of members is crucial from a governance standard. It was the aim of this committee to provide a document that outlines this information in a succinct and accurate manner for the board, superintendent, and the public. I recommend approval.
Thank you. Ms. Shawhan.
I move that we adopt the recently revised Board of Education of Anne Arundel County Board Handbook, noting that the handbook will be evaluated for revisions annually.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Corkadell.
Just a question, the language that the member had used to make the motion, does that mean that was that a summary, or are we adding, in addition to adoption of the handbook, an annual requirement? I was just curious if her language creates that necessity or not, because it's in a motion. I'm not sure.
Can you read the motion again, Ms. Shawhan?
I move that we adopt the recently revised Board of Education of Anne Arundel County Board Handbook, noting that the handbook will be evaluated for revisions annually.
Okay. Ms. Frank?
I believe in the original motion of the handbook from approximately 2 years ago, it was recognized that this would be reviewed annually in that motion as well.
Okay.
I guess why I'm asking is because the handbook itself says that, and putting a noting in a motion just didn't seem so that's why, because when we adopt this, it says the handbook will be posted, reviewed annually, and updated as warranted.
Happy
So
to take it out and
I was
revise
just
the motion.
wondering, yeah, I mean, I was
Would
just
you like me to?
wanted to make sure just the way it was worded. I mean, I just think it would be a cleaner approach, but
Great. I will withdraw the previous motion and make a new motion. I move that we adopt the recently revised Board of Education of Anne Arundel County Handbook.
Second.
Fantastic.
Okay.
and thank you very much to the member.
Ms. Frank?
I would just like to recognize that I still would think that it's important to review annually, whether or not it's stated. I think that's the premise here. Yeah.
I think
A lot of things were in the handbook, and yet it took 4 years to get
I
here.
think once again, we are also in the realm of norms and expectations for that. So seeing no more lights.
Mr. Silkworth?
Aye.
Ms. Frank?
Aye.
Ms. Ellis?
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell?
Aye.
Ms. Schulheim?
Aye.
Dr. Tobin?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you very much.
Fabulous.
Item 7, review items. 7.01, award of contracts. We have no recommendation on this, do we?
No, ma'am, but we are glad to answer any questions the boards may have on any of the contracts before you.
I see no lights.
Move to adjourn.
All in favor? Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.